Okay, so where to start? I keep looking through gear and shit to buy, and my stuff that I'm getting changes a lot. I've pretty much narrowed in on boots. I keep going back and forth on buying 3 pairs of Welco boots or buying 1 pair of Danner boots. And I found a good deal on a pair of Danners that's a half size bigger than I wear, so I'm gonna get those. Uh, I'm getting the Danner USMC issue boots. Which, a lot of the shit that you're about to hear me talk about is fucking Marine Corps shit. And, to some extent, I'm buying some Marine Corps shit because it's the best for the money. Honestly, I didn't buy this because, like, I have this Marine Corps fantasy or whatever. I talk about Space Marines a lot. My grandfather was in the Marine Corps. I actively try to avoid using Marpat. I don't really like it because of all the connotations of like marineness that it brings. Basically, that's why I do what I do. Basically, there's better options that involve Marpat on most things. Anyway, as such, I have found something in Marpat that I'm going to buy. I call it the Alice Pack of Tomorrow. I found these all over the internet. I couldn't figure out what they were for a while. And it occurred to me eventually that these are at surplus sites. These aren't a new thing. These aren't some cheap Chinese knockoff in Marpat. These are a US manufactured Alice pack in Marpat. You can find them. They're on eBay. They're wherever. They range in price, but around $100. I found Coleman Surplus had them for $80. I'm gonna probably order one from them. I think these are gonna be good, and the reason I think they're gonna be good is because based on the looks of them, I think the Albanian army ordered these sometime in the early to mid 2000s, and they ordered them from some US manufacturer of Alice packs. And they had them put in fucking Marpat because they liked the pattern. I think that they also bought uniforms and shit. They went with the whole thing. And like this was they were joining NATO, or they were always a part of NATO. This was their new NATO backpack. As such, I'm getting one of these instead of the I was gonna get another Kelty Map 3500, but one of the newer ones that they're selling that's like it's a Kelty Red Wing now instead of Map 3500 something else. So it's not the same bag. I'm not really interested in it. So basically, the backpack on my list completely changed, and it's adding shit to the list. And the shit that it's going to add to my list is stuff to attach to an Alice pack. And I went through. I have a box of toys for my nephew. I feel bad because I rated his shit, and I pulled out an Alice M16 mag pouch and a bandolier. I'll replace those with something eventually, but like those are things that I actually need. I didn't think I was going to need that Alice mag pouch, but I'm going to. I already have an Alice shovel pouch, so that's going to clarify. An Alice pack has areas where you can attach the M1956 web belt system pouches to it. So much in the way that your Molly pack of today has some little bullshit that you string through some stuff and can like attach things to it. An Alice pack can do that too. It was the forefather of that type of system, but it uses metal clips to do it, and it's more end of the world proof. Like it's what I want. I want to be able to quickly detach and reattach shit, and I think the Alice system does a better job of what I need. Also, this pack is $80, and it's in Marpat, and it's made of materials that don't fucking reflect night vision and shit. So, what would we use such a pack for? Well, I'm gonna have a shovel on the outside of it, and then I have 2 packs of M16 mags, and then I'm gonna have a med kit box. You can get these on eBay for 13, $15. I forget what they call them. Let me look. Uh, U.S. military Alice IFAC. Okay, you get these empty. They're supposed to be packed with like contents. It's a jungle first aid kit from like World War II or Vietnam. These are sold empty though. So I'm going to take one of them and pack it full of Sparklite tabs and a couple of spark lights and make a giant spark light. Spark light is a fire starter, and that's going to be on the side of my bag with the shovel. So you got ammo, shovel, fire starting, and then for medical, I have a chest rig that's got a bunch of medical shit in it now that's going to be tied to the outside of the bag somehow. So that's its own thing. And then as far as the inside of the bag, all that's going to be inside the bag is fucking MREs and bandoliers and socks and shit. Maybe a couple other things, but it's going to be really trimmed down like that. This is what like a combat support pack should look like. Okay? It has ammo, it has a shovel, okay? And like this is the sort of pack that probably a couple of guys in a squad are going to be packing a bag like this, where it's like you have a shovel and a bunch of ammo and some food. You'll probably have a couple of guys just packing ammo. Okay. And like those dudes are probably packing belts for the machine gun, to be honest. So this bag is built to do a thing. And will I ever use it? I don't know. But I want to make a video on it for you people. And I want to have it amongst my end of the world supplies because it's the sort of thing that you could go bury out in the woods. And if you did it right, it would still be good several decades later, basically, assuming you did the right kind of food. So, like, you wanted to see a bug out bag or whatever. This is like, I don't know. This isn't a bug out bag. This is, we are going to be outside in the woods getting shot at for multiple days on end. We're going to need some shit to do that. The shit that we need is like a shovel. Uh, the fire starting stuff is we don't know the temperature. If it gets cold enough, you have to start fires. Basically, and like, will you have to mitigate being shot and shit? Yeah, you will. Like, there's all that has a huge discussion with it, but fire is important. Shovel is important. That's why I'm making him giant things on the outside of the bag. Ammunition is very important, and I think between the ammo pouches on the outside of the bag and then stuffing the exterior pockets with bandoliers full of mags, that'll be good. And then the interior main pocket, I'm just going to fill with MREs. MREs or Mountain House, one or the other. And maybe like some basic shit to cook that with, like maybe a pot of some sort. So like we might throw in some stuff like that, like a big hank of like fucking 1,000-pound test rope hanging on the outside of the bag. There's shit that you should have with that I will have in the video whenever I do a full video on that pack. But this is it's a big change, and I'm doing this because I'm getting a way better pack for slightly less money. Basically, spending $20 less and getting a $300 pack in my mind. That's what this backpack should be. It's a fucking external frame Alice pack. And it's built well from what I've seen of the reviews and stuff. So I'll see when I get it in hand. If I like the way it's built and everything, then I'll do the rest of it. But like that's why on that list of shit there's like HDRs and MREs and shit because like that bag is mostly MREs. I have two other Kelty Map 3500s that are pretty good combat assault packs. Those are probably at least one of those is going to be completely stuffed with MREs. Both of them might be stuffed with MREs. And the thing is, like, if you don't know exactly what you're going to be doing or where or for how long, one of your main limiting factors, believe it or not, is food. Food is going to limit you a hell of a lot more than ammo. Like I know a lot of people right now. They're like, "Man, I'm just buying more ammo. Just buying more ammo." It's great. Good for you. I hope that works out well for you. I don't know what you're gonna do with it. Like, I guess there's a big difference between someone who's gonna be like a supply depot of some sort versus someone who's gonna be on the road. Like, it's just a bunch of useless shit to me. Ammo's good. A bunch of ammo is good. And ammo cache someplace that you're gonna go, fuck yeah. Now we're talking. Like, if you want to have 20 billion rounds buried underground in the Ozarks someplace, because that's where you're gonna go hang out, cool. But if your plan is just, hey, I'm just gonna keep this shit in my fucking garage, like someone I know, many people I know, that's a bad plan. I have a bunch of ammo, I would say. I have enough ammunition that in Jericho, the TV show Jericho, when I showed up to town with my ammunition to put into the stack of fucking community ammo, I would have outdone everyone on that fucking show by 100 times over, probably. But I'm not some crazy person either. And what I mean by that is, if you're still stacking ammo after you have enough to fight off a small war, you have other concerns or whatever. And now some of those people that just stack more ammo, like never enough ammo, for example, uh, they have everything else. So why not buy more ammo? Like, it's definitely there. It's just for me right now, that was one of the prep areas where I was particularly heavy. Okay. When this channel kind of went hardcore into like prepping for the end of the fucking world, it was always that way a little bit. But like when the Russian invasion happened, I would say maybe even a little bit before then, I started buying food and shit, and like I started doing more survivally preparedness stuff. So naturally, that kind of leaked onto the channel, and now it's kind of taken over it because it's a lot of what I think about or do. And the reason that it is like I can't have a fucking supply depot of ammunition. I can't. What I can have is what I'm doing, basically. I'm a mobile asset to anyone who fucking cares to have me in their fucking party, basically. I need to fucking find people here in Tulsa that do prepper shit. I guess. I don't know. I don't really want to join a group of people. I'm not a joiner. I would rather have fucking Blazer pull his head out of his ass if he's listening. I don't know what he's up to. He's like getting burnt out, I think. He needs a break. Everybody needs a fucking break, to be honest. Except for me. I could probably stand to go back to work at this point, to be honest. I could definitely stand to go make some money. But like, I think it's interesting that if I did go make some money doing anything, like if I sat down and had pretty much any real job for like 6 months, I'd have enough money to kill my entire wish list. But my thing is, once you uh, once you start getting used to living with that much money, it's harder to go back. And where I'm at right now, I've gotten to where I am happy living out of a van with a girlfriend doing drugs. Don't hate me. Just that's me at this point. So I'm gathering combat kit, and I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with all of that. I'm gonna stow it someplace though, and then I have my black powder revolver, and I I'm not gonna talk about that on here yet because I haven't won it, but I found something that I really like that I think is gonna go with my pistols. And when I put all of this away at some point in the near future, I'm gonna keep a couple of guns out, and a couple of guns I'm gonna keep out are gonna be the black powder revolver, the car, and the Flux Raider. Pretty much everything else I'm gonna stash somewhere again. I don't know where yet. I'm gonna do that and a bunch of the food and all the ammo, except for 9 mil and black powder ship. And I would like to do that sooner rather than later, to be honest. Um, World's getting weird. The other part of this is like, do you really want to go burying shit right now if the world is getting weird? That's why, like, my plan is not to have all my eggs in one basket, basically. If someone wants to fucking party, the black powder revolver alone could probably protect me. With the 9 millimeter guns added onto it, definitely. And that gives me stuff to go shoot, which I definitely want to do. That's why I might pull like the 1911 out too. Just go bury rifles. But I don't know. I like them all. There's a serious part of me that says just bring the Flux Raider and the black powder revolver. Because like what I'm planning on doing is going and camping out someplace and talking to you people and hanging around. And I don't know where I'm gonna go, but that's what the black powder revolver's for. Literally, I'm gonna go wander the wastelands with nothing but a black powder revolver and maybe the Flux Raider and a sword. The Flux Raider is one of those like, hey, just in case you run into a mob or something. I don't know. Seems like the time to take a road trip. I've been talking to a girl who lives not very far away. We've talked for forever. I don't know. I hope to hang out with her soon. It'd be cool to take her to the Grand Canyon. I don't know. I don't think there's any way really to do two people out of that thing. I think in reality, the only thing that makes it doable to do one person in that minivan is the fact that I decided to keep that third seat. Because in reality, the driver's seat of that thing isn't that great of a place to hang out. The passenger seat, likewise, is not that great of a place to hang out. But I watched a movie from the fucking captain's chair in the back the other night, and like Jesus, that it's comfortable. You got lots of leg room. Got a gigantic ass door you can blow smoke out of. Like that's the smoke spot right there. So that's one of the things that sealed the deal on putting a twin bed back there is the utility of having more than just a bed in the back. I guess, people said that a few months ago, and like this is why I wasn't in a hurry to modify the van. It's kind of like buying this backpack. Had I had the money to just buy everything, I would have bought the wrong shit. I think it's better to think this shit out and plan. I started out just buying a whole bunch of random shit at the start while my brain was fucked up and I had $28,000. That was fun, to be honest. That's how I got the Flex Raider. I thought about that for like 2 or 3 weeks because I got that by buying it off Gunbroker. I bought the Flux Raider chassis, and I bought it when it was $700, and I thought that was pretty outrageous. And they've gone so much up from there. Like, they're impossible to get. They're unobtainium. And I rather like that thing as its, stockless PDW machine pistol form thing that I made it. I like that. I don't really care for it with that brace thing. Like, nothing about that is really my speed. They managed to make something interesting despite that. I would really like to get some more components from them and work on making some sort of like, I want the NFA repealed so that I can make it an SBR without anything and a machine gun without anything. And once that's a thing, that thing's gonna be fully automatic. And it's probably gonna have a detachable shoulder stock. At least be fully automatic. And people are going, no stock and fully automatic? What would you use that gun for? No wonder. It's called technique. Anyway, I'm gonna buy one of these Alice packs and review it. If you're looking for this kind of shit, stay tuned for reviews. I'm gonna do videos as I get shit, and then kind of as I continue to modify. And I'm gonna do to that Alice pack probably not as heavy as I'm doing to like the helmet or the chest rig, but it's gonna get shit added to it too. And what else? I don't know. Oh, the boots, the Marine Corps boots. I'm gonna do fucking a review on them too. I think I'm gonna get the Danners, like I said, and basically, I'm trying to figure out is that the best combat boot for the money? And the reason I arrived at the Marine Corps issue boots was watching Tactical Hives boot video. Had a couple of Navy SEALs discussing boots, and both of them talked about how good the Marine Corps' new boots were. When two Navy SEALs talk about how good a boot is, and then when I see it, I have a gut reaction of I want to own a pair of those, and they're only $60 to $100, like depending on which ones you get. Like, yeah, you just got to get those. If they're as good as I think they're going to be, those are going to be my new go-to boots. Kind of like the Altamas aren't my new go-to tennis shoes yet, but they went high up into the running. I want to try Whoopee shoes still, and I want to get a pair of Chuck Taylors, like just the original, as old school of ones as they still fucking make. Because I have a feeling that those probably are still better than the rest of these. I know I would prefer them looks wise. I might get a set of new Chuck Taylors, but the thing I like about the Altamas is they're a pair of Chuck Taylors that are built more like a fucking combat boot, so like they don't break and fall apart and shit. The half the thing I hate about civilian shoes is that they break and fall apart. Shit. Even in like the hiking world, I grew up going to a private school and had to wear dress shoes at school, and then came home and instantly threw on my fucking combat boots. That's what I grew up doing because I hated those fucking dress shoes. And as a result, my view of what is and is not acceptable in shoe quality is somewhat jacked up from the normal person. Like, I was wearing really nice dress shoes, and the combat boots that I had then, I had several pairs. I had a pair of black Altamas that were like, imagine a jungle boot, but all leather and without ventilation in the side. and they had the Altama sole instead of the Panama sole. At least mine did. Slightly different, same idea. So I like Altama. Um, but like the quality of those was like out of the fucking world. And the other boots that I had were like I had a pair of desert jungle boots. I had a pair of regular jungle boots too. And all of those, like they're really good boots. And when I started buying other shoes, I went and looked around a bit and was disappointed and ended up having to spend $150 just to get something that I thought was halfway decent in a boot. And this blew my mind because I was used to like I went with grandpa and bought boots at surplus stores. So my boots were basically free. And here started my obsession with shoes. I'm a shoe girl. And the shoes that I like range from stiletto high heel stripper boots to Converse, Altama, Maritime Assault shoes to fucking, these Marine Corps issue boots, anything in there. Like, I like shoes. Especially, like, I either want cool looking shoes, sexy looking shoes to get me dick, or I want shoes that fucking work and protect my feet from the world. And I think this is very much so a result of the dress shoes to combat boots thing every day. Like, I wear tennis shoes. I wear Converse. Um, I've owned a bunch of different tennis shoes over the years. I just don't really like any of them other than Converse. Um, when it comes to most things that people would do with tennis shoes, I usually use Merrell's, and I don't usually buy their tennis shoes. I usually buy like their hiking boot-ish thing that is summer weight, and it's somewhere between like a Nike and like a hiking boot. I wore those a lot. I told you I was a lesbian. Like I am a lesbian. I happen to also like dick. Like and that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand. Like I'm bisexual. Whatever. Like not to get into the fucking like sexual education that this channel is, but like most of my audience has never encountered someone like me. Doesn't get me and doesn't get that like this is who I am. So I'm sorry about that, but like I like shoes, and some of the shoes I like are fucking high heels, and some of the shoes I like are Marine Corps issue combat boots. So we'll probably do reviews on all of those eventually, just because that makes me laugh. But yeah, that's half of the point of doing any of the gear reviews on this channel is I'm buying shit that is mission critical for anyone. And I'm going to be reviewing it as pretty much the best on the market because I somewhat have an idea of what I'm looking for and experience again, and an eye for quality. And I'm shopping for basically the militia fighter of the 21st century. So if that sounds like you should probably seriously go look at some of the stuff that I've talked about in this video. Um, this whole video has been about backpacks and boots. And that's not a very like fun topic or whatever, but like in reality, that Alice pack, I'm gonna keep it loaded like that because that makes sense to me. But in reality, it is a frame that is made to attach to the human body that you can load with a lot of shit. I've seen Alice packs that weighed over 100 pounds. I picked up Alice packs that weighed damn near close to that. I wouldn't want to hike with one of those very far. But my thing is, okay, so let's say you load it down with ammo. Let's say the place that you need that ammo is only like 4 miles from where your car can stop. You get why you need the Alice pack now? You might not have to hike 100 miles across the country or some shit, but just taking ammo from wherever your vehicle can stop to someplace out in the woods, that alone is worth having the Alice pack, and that's one of about 10,000 uses. When my grandfather, uh, sorry, when I was a kid, my grandfather gave me many things, right, for Christmases and birthdays and whatever. I'm gonna talk about army gear that he gave me in the order that he gave it to me in. He gave me a pair of combat boots early. I was like fucking 5 or 6 or some shit. Um, he gave me a canteen shortly thereafter and a helmet together. And it was a steel pot helmet. I'm glad he did that because honestly, I wore that thing all through my childhood, and I have neck strength that you wouldn't believe, and it's come to serve me well in life. Um, After that, the next thing was a full set of web gear with M16 pouches and canteens, suspenders, and a pistol belt, and an Alice pack. So he was like giving me 1980s Marine 782 gear. And I thought it was the coolest shit ever because I was playing with cap guns and shit at the time. And I did what we're doing now with that gear back then. I played with it. I went and modified it to my own ends. And this is the lesson that you guys should take from me, really, I think, is some of what I do, I taught myself. Some of what I do, I learned from cool dudes, and some of those dudes were like special forces and shit. So I don't know everything in the world or whatever, but when it comes to making gear out of garbage, I'm pretty good at it. It's kind of my savant skill. I feel a bit like Rick from Rick and Morty. Like, I built this fucking car out of garbage. You like it? I built this night vision helmet out of garbage. It's a Protec A skate, but the rest of it's garbage pretty much. Except for the turtle. The turtle wasn't garbage. Anyway, I hope this video has helped somebody. There's been a lot more thoughts along the shopping list lines, and I know that at least Backwoods found that interesting, and I kind of figured he and a couple other people would. Uh, I eventually would like to do videos on this whole setup and every component of it because it's like I am doing things from like a vehicle up philosophy in life, basically. Of we might be fighting in a militia tomorrow, and my van is set up to be an ambulance, scout vehicle, many things. It could be many things. It's mainly, my thing to get me from A to B. Jesus, I got cough. It's one of those that like I don't know what we're going to be doing, so all I'm doing pretty much at all times is I'm smoking weed and exercising a lot. I'm eating healthy food a lot. I was kind of eating junk food there for a while because I figured we were all gonna die, and I wanted to go enjoy some fucking like McDonald's and shit. I took a good 6 months and just enjoyed for a while before I started my diet back up. Anyway, but between that stuff and what I'm doing to save money for gear is instead of going out and partying and whatever, I'm staying at home and either watching something cool on like Disney Plus or Hulu or something that I have free, Or, oh, I'm watching gear videos on fucking YouTube because I'm getting ready to basically my goal in these videos is to have a master class in fucking this. Like, if you can afford better pieces of nylon and shit to put into this system I'm showing you, it'll be even better. You know, all of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you guys is not like you're gonna see on fucking Travis Hater. This is foundation level shit that like a lot of people that teach things assume that you know X, Y, and Z because they know X, Y, and Z. What I'm doing here is condensing my own 32 years worth of knowledge and the collective knowledge of YouTube and the internet into a list of fucking equipment for you to buy if you would like to buy it. And a fucking beater minivan is actually number one on that list. As low a mileage as possible with as many new parts as possible. Honda or Toyota. I really like my Honda Odyssey. And the reason you're getting that is because it has cargo capacity, it's cheap, and it gets good gas mileage. Uh, if you have more money, there's other vehicles that you could get that would also be useful. A Deuce and a Half is fucking useful as shit. Like any military vehicle you can get is cool, but like if you are like, man, I drive a normal car, I can't be in the whatever. Like I'm in a minivan, and yeah, I'm converting it and doing whatever. But I put it to you that you could sell your car, get a $2,000 minivan, and start turning it into an ambulance slash troop transport. You don't. Ow. I guess my thing is really like whether that's used as an ambulance or not, like it will transport me and two other people wherever we need to go with all of the stuff needed to sustain us for quite a bit of time. Because like the bed, you can load that thing for bear with fucking food and gear and whatever. Load the cargo area with all the same shit and load everybody's lap that's not driving with food. And bring some shit like tents to store shit in. And dude, you got it made. You have a van with a bed in it where people can go and like sleep, and like at least one of you is probably always going to be awake anyway if you're at some sort of patrol base or some sort of shit anyway. Like you don't want people stealing your shit. So like on one level that minivan is, hey, we're going to like cruise around and camp and whatever. On another level it's, if you had to, the ability to cruise around and camp for one person makes three or four people's lives in a combat zone better, because basically you're not going to get to camp that much, but when you do camp at least you'll get a bed. And maybe you only get a bed every other night or something like that, or maybe every 3 nights. That's still better than never. And it's one of those things that like if it were me, I would make it to where we all slept in the bed for 8 hours a day. So it was like there was always one of us sleeping and the other two were awake. And really, you could do that as long as you have gasoline. You could do that and run on the road too, because you have 3 seats and a bed, right? That person could sleep in the back too. You have someone to navigate and whatever, which is probably pretty critical. I think basically for driving around in the end of the world, if you're alone, whatever, that's one thing. But if you're in a group of people, you're going to need two people up front one to drive and one to keep the driver awake and talk and whatever and make decisions, and it would help. And it would help if those two people are used to working together. I I wish I could get a bigger vehicle, but that's the from what I've seen, that is the like law of diminishing returns, right? Like I started out with a Toyota FJ Cruiser, and that was too small. I couldn't sleep in that. That's why I got sold. However, like the temptation then is, well, I'm gonna buy a bus or some shit. I'm gonna buy a Sprinter van. I think that's a wrong call. I think there's an ideal size, and I think the minivan pretty much hits it square on the nose. It's got kind of a sleek look to the body. It's somewhat aerodynamic. It's the van of the future. I like it. And it's one of those that, like, we should take advantage of the fact that this great vehicle is not valued at all. And in fact, the van life people have already shown us a dozen different ways to fucking customize and modify it. Go look up, Honda Odyssey or Toyota Sienna minivan customization or camper customization on YouTube. You'll find a bunch of videos on it. I sat here for months, kind of in a fucked up state head wise, unable to sort my shit out, watching shit about that. Like I've been doing that a lot on YouTube. Is like I have been watching intently. There's various different ways to watch something, and if I'm watching it intently and only watching it and watching it 160 billion times, I'm gonna remember every aspect of it. And I did that with some electrical power shit that I needed to know. I did that with a bunch of van life shit. I watched those people and I watched what they did. And this is like I was an anthropologist. Okay. I am a trained observer in many ways. And like if you think that sounds like a sniper, you're right. That's why I picked it. Just, uh, an anthropologist is a sniper with a camera. At least I was. That's one of the things I actually got praised for from my professors. I got all kinds of pictures of stuff. Some stuff that we were allowed to have pictures of that were just good, and some stuff where it was like the tribe of people does not let themselves be photographed, and they behead people when they get caught taking pictures of them. And I got pictures of them. A few other things like that where, like, you know, I have a gift. And sometimes that gift is being sneaky, and sometimes that gift is being like, so what's your deal with the fucking no camera thing? And at which point one of them will go, no lie, not a real thing. We just tell that to freak out the white people. Like, okay. So at which point I'm telling the tribesmen, so I'm some half native dumbass that they hate from Oklahoma that they don't respect at all because I talk like I'm from fucking down and like they think no one can get pictures of you ever. And like they're like, well, we don't want people to get pictures of us. I'm like, could I have like six? Give me six pictures of you guys that will present to the world. Like they let me have six pictures. And my I didn't tell any of this to my professors. Just when we got back from that, I was like, oh, did you see these? And I handed my professors pictures of those people, and they're like, holy shit, how did you get pictures of them? I was like, I'm a magician. Like, I'm a wizard. Don't ask questions of spooky people. Like, this is when I say I'm a wizard. I legitimately do things that people think are impossible to do and or magic. But the thing that has allowed me to do them is the fact that I'm a real motherfucker, usually. Some mixture of that and some like simple tricks and bullshit. Like some of the other pictures I got, I literally had a phone with a camera in it and just went click, 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 put it away. Took like 20 pictures. Some of them were blurry, some of them were shit, and in the mix were good ones. Okay. No one even knew you were taking pictures. And then it was even better than that is I usually was hip on technology with phones. I always tried to have the latest iPhone, and once they got pretty good with their video camera, just shoot video. Always be shooting video. Like if you're in a spot where you would want to take a picture, just shoot video the whole time. Then sort through the video looking for shots. And I do that a lot with videos even here. Like I'll be doing something like, ooh, that's a cool shot, and I'll screen cap it because I'll use it like shots of the moon for something I did the other night. Anyway, this has wandered far from where it was supposed to be. But the Alice Pack of Tomorrow is it's a big deal. I think this thing looks pretty damn good for 80 bucks at Coleman's Surplus. It's 110 with free shipping on eBay. I don't know what the shipping will be at Coleman's. The eBay protection shit is worth having if it's a similar price. If it's less, just get it there. Uh, yeah. There's not too much else to say about that. It's a backpack. We've managed to do 50 minutes on it though. But we've talked about a lot of other shit, including philosophy and boots. And the thing I'm debating on getting boot wise is the Marine Corps makes a pair of cold weather boots that are very similar to these hot weather boots that I'm going to get. And in my mind, quote unquote hot weather boots are most of the year. Cold weather boots, quote unquote, are snow boots. That terminology changes somewhat if you go to Alaska. Because, like, I'm in Oklahoma, and what I consider to be snow boots here, they would consider to be boots. And then their snow boots are even fucking crazier. Like, big rubber looking things. I don't know. I don't know if a pair of those is worth having. I found a place for at Coleman's where those are only 60 bucks, but I think they're used and there's no returns, and I don't know. Makes me question. I'd never heard of Coleman's before, but they had two of the items that I was looking for. So they're getting a free shout out. That and they legitimately had the best price on those Albanian backpacks. I think it's funny that they're from fucking Albania. Uh, it's obvious by the construction of them. They either copied them in Albania with some US fabric, or they had them, more than likely, they just bought them from the US. If I were the Albanian military in 2004, would I make my own backpacks? No, I would not. So they're in NATO. Who would I go to as a NATO member to get backpacks that would give me Marpat Alice packs? It's only the United States. So those are a US manufactured bag for 80 bucks. Like maybe, I guess maybe they were sewn in China, but I doubt it. They look pretty good too. The thing I think is weird is they have a 3 mag shingle across the front that a normal Alice pack doesn't have. Where an Alice pack usually has hookups for more Alice attachments across the front of the bag, it has like a built-in bandolier 3 mag shingle thing. That's cool. I'll use it. I would rather have the hookups for the Alice shit. Ugh. The bad part about buying an Alice pack is that I'm going to have to carry an Alice pack again at some point. Honestly, my goal in life was just to pack light enough to where I didn't have to do that ever again. It sucks. It is one of the best backpacks in the world, though. Like, if you want a good solid backpack just to own, an Alice pack is that pack. And Marpat is a dope pattern, believe it or not. It is very effective. The reason that I never wanted to buy it or wear it or any of that shit was all of the people I knew that wore Marpat around me were either active duty Marine Corps or some sort of a pissant that was like jerking off over Marines, which it sounds like I do a lot, but really I don't. Just my grandfather and dad were in the Marine Corps, so it comes up a lot. Like I like the Marines from knowing them, and I like the Space Marines and Aliens. Okay, that is to which my allegiance is with the Marine Corps. Like if I were to join the military tomorrow, I doubt I would join the Marine Corps. I doubt they would take me. The army might. The army's desperate. The army might make me an officer. You're gonna be a general someday, Gup. Would be interesting. The whole war with China thing really presents a giant opportunity in some ways. Although, like in reality, I think war with China and Russia, if you do join up for that shit, you're gonna get used and abused and irradiated and Jesus Christ, man. I don't know if that's worth it. I know at least for a while I'm just gonna keep exercising and start taking road trips. Like I said, the Grand Canyon or whatever. But in reality, I'm gonna stick a lot closer to home for quite a while. There's several places that I know of that I can go within an hour, hour and a half, to even 3 hours from here. That I'll start taking progressively longer trips and going places. I don't want to waste money on gas, but at the same time, I just got that car not very long ago, and I need to fucking prove it out to myself at least. And I've done that around town for the last week or two, and it impresses me thus far. Thus far, we have spent all of we spent $10 on a mm, cassette deck adapter. And the rest has been on stickers and keychains. Let me see. We got like 20 bucks in stickers maybe, and I spent 10 bucks on a keychain that I'm going to basically I'm going to take the key ring off of it, cut the little piece off of it and epoxy it onto the back of the car. It's the Pussy Wagon keychain from Kill Bill. There's other shit that I'm probably going to do that with too. Why not? The cool part to me about the van and going camping like that is just getting out and being free and whatever, and that's the goal of most of this in my mind. And a lot of the gear that I'm obsessed with, the reason that I'm obsessed with the gear I am is because I could go out and just sit in the woods with nothing but like a pair of fucking what's it called? Pair of pants and a pocket knife. I was gonna say something other than pants, but I couldn't think of what it was. You could go out like that. It's not gonna be very fun. I guess what I'm looking for is high fun in the way back. And that's what like a camper van provides you with. You know, the the Alice Pack is the minivan of backpacks in a lot of ways. It is the correct answer that nobody wants because it's not cool. You know, even today, like there are better rucksacks and whatever, I would guarantee you than this. But for what I'm going to do with this and for what you guys are going to do with this, an Alice Pack will 100% do that. And for 80 bucks, I want to try this one. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's been kind of me high and rambling about Alice packs and other shit that I need to buy, but this is kind of important shit. I would say that the stuff discussed in this podcast is more important than anything to do with the helmet shit I've been spending fucking shit tons of time on. It all works together though. Like you need everything to work together. It's a system, you know. The helmet is useless if you don't have good boots to fucking walk while wearing it. And as far as the Alice pack of tomorrow, when you're buying gear, all you're buying is ways to attach other shit to your body. So I like to think of it like armor. Okay, but instead of like protecting you from whatever it is, it's whatever the gear inside the bag is. It's hauling with you. It's your armor against the world or whatever. I hope that makes sense. You can't live out of a chest rig for forever, and all of the shit that I would want for longer than like a night is what we've discussed in this bag. A shitload of batteries for whatever it is that you're running would be good too. There's other things that definitely need to go in this like sustainment pack, but MREs, a shovel, something to start fires with, batteries, and magazines and ammunition and shit. Like that's a good baseline. I will keep working on the list of stuff that's going to go in that bag, and we'll see what comes out in the fucking video whenever I do that. I have a 50-foot hank of rope. I'm probably gonna throw that on there. There's other shit too, but I'm high and just wandering now, so I'm gonna end this. Bye, guys.